Hello, this is Todd Shank coming to you with the Gameweek 5 FPL tips. Um, so, looking over my team for this week, um, I would say the one move that I'm considering doing is starting to drop some of my Southampton defenders. They haven't been doing quite as well recently. Stevens is one that might start to be dropped now that Virgil van Dijk is most likely going to be coming back. Um, and he's been kind of hit or miss. When he hits, he's got some big points. When he misses, it's just the 1 point. He seems pretty reliant on the clean sheet there. Um, Bertrand, another one, he's 5.5 and kind of the same way. They're both very reliant on the clean sheet. Uh, so that's part of why I'm looking at getting rid of them. Stevens is 5.0, so most likely I'll be getting rid of Bertrand because I still have Naughton and Dunk as coverage um, for my defense. I know that from listening to some other people out there, one of the big things is trying to make room in midfield. Um, I'd consider swapping out Redmond for a 5.0 midfielder, but for now, I feel pretty comfortable with having him in there. He's still contributing. Even 2 points is better than one. Tom Carroll is another one. He's been contributing 4.5. Can't really get much better than that. So even if he's not going to be playing, he can still sit on my bench at 4.5. Not really an issue there. So as far as bringing in any defenders, so I do have it kind of listed out here value based on form recently. Um, so if we just swap it out for defenders here, Newcastle. So one of the things I do like to use is the fixture tracker at fantasyfootball247.co.uk. They have this is a great tool for getting a nice layout of game week 5 up to game week 11. So a nice layout, breaks down when the Champions League and Europa League matches are coming in, breaks down the international breaks here as well. So get a good view of what they are considering as, their easy fixtures in green, medium fixtures in gray, and then the more difficult fixtures in red. So as you can see, Burnley and Swansea have the most difficult fixtures for this week, whereas there's several teams that have some pretty good fixtures coming up for this week. So looking at Southampton, they have mostly gray fixtures coming up, mainly because they're a team that is kind of middle of the road. They're a very medium team. Who knows what they're going to do is the way that I'm looking at that. And I don't really trust them against Crystal Palace. I do think that Roy Hodgson is going to make a difference, at least in the short term, for Crystal Palace. They had a lot of attacking threat last weekend, so I'm not really expecting Southampton to keep a clean sheet, which is part of why I'm looking at getting rid of those defenders in there. I know that there are some people that are talking about bringing in Stephen Davis in this midfield for Southampton. He is only 5.0. So let's look at my transfers here. So if I did, I don't know. I don't see that really working out for myself. I think the main thing is people trying to clear out room to bring in some of the bigger hitting, even bringing in like a Firmino up front. He is the second highest scorer for forwards this season. And if we look here at the fixtures coming up, Liverpool here, they have some decent fixtures coming up. At least, especially for attacking, I could see them definitely scoring goals against Burnley, Leicester, Newcastle. Might have a harder time against Manchester United, but even getting goals, they're a team that they're built around scoring goals. So trying to make room for Firmino is something that you probably want to look at doing. And in order to do that and still carry some of the higher end midfielders, it's going to be very difficult unless you start to make moves. maybe keeping a 4.0 defender that just sits on your bench and going with more of the 5.0 midfielders. So if you're looking at 5.0 midfielders, um, I know last week I did say I don't really trust Doucouré, but Watford this year has been surprising in the way that they have spread around their goals across pretty much the entirety of the team there. Um, but as far as midfielders go, it's kind of hard to find decent 5.0 or even under midfielders. I mean, I don't really trust Cleverly. Steven Davis is one that you could go with. I know I've seen some other people doing that. Again, he's a solid midfielder that's going to get you 2 or 3 points a game. Doesn't really pick up a whole lot of yellow cards. Um, I now beginning of the season, I thought Solomon March would be a good pick, considering his stats from the championship, and I mean, it's transferred fairly well. Again, picked up an assist, has a clean sheet, so some decent points in there that you could see yourself going with. I could see myself going with March. He also only has 0.2% selection, so he has an excellent differential if you're looking to make up some ground. Christian Atsu has picked up some, is it 3.4%? I know I've heard a lot of people talking about him. Newcastle's fixtures coming up, Stoke at home, Brighton away, Liverpool at home. So at least the next two fixtures are decent for them. Although Stoke, I mean, they did score the 2 goals against Manchester United last week. So that could be a very interesting move if you did want to try to bring in Atsu. It would mainly be for the attacking threat there. And then you have Sanchez, 3 points last week. That was primarily because of picking up the bonus point there and the clean sheet as well. Otherwise, he looked very lively. 68 minutes played. I think he is a differential in a way that I could see some people moving off of him in the future if he's not able to perform. Brighton seems to be full of these players so far, picking up 2 and 3 points, and they're a team that you could definitely look at picking up some players. They're going to have some tougher fixtures coming up in Gameweek 7 and 8 against Arsenal and Everton, but otherwise, they might be a solid team to look at picking up some, low-end players that could make up some room to be able to bring in someone like a Firmino or even a Jamie Vardy. Because if you look at Leicester's fixtures coming up, they should be scoring goals as well. Huddersfield away. I know Huddersfield, they've been pretty solid defensively, but with more and more teams starting to pick up their attacking flow and starting to figure out how to break down Huddersfield, I don't think they're going to be keeping as many clean sheets. Against Liverpool at home, Liverpool leaking goals, especially in the last week. Bournemouth away, another solid one for them. West Brom at home, that could be a little bit tricky. Then they have Swansea away, Everton home, and Stoke away. So, I mean, personally, I think I would rather go. With Vardy over Firmino. That's my own personal choice. Largely comes down to just I don't want any Liverpool or Man City players in my team. So it's a personal choice there. Vardy has 11.3% ownership compared to Firmino, so depends on which way you want to go with that. All right, as far as captain's picks for this week, I am going to be captaining Kane again. Swansea at home. Swansea has certainly been giving up the goals this season. So let's look here. Defensively, they have allowed 19.5 shots per game. And then you can compare that to Tottenham, who have taken 19.8 shots per game, been able to put 5.8 shots per game on target. So this is definitely a match that is going to be good for Harry Kane, in my opinion. he's already taken 7 shots per game, 1.8 key passes per game. Um, so looking at some solid statistics there that show that he should be able to get some goals in that match. For myself, the other alternative would be Lukaku. At home against Everton, he's going to want to prove a point. Wayne Rooney in that match too is going to want to prove a point, so it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. I am going to keep Mkhitaryan in, especially now that Pogba is out injured probably for about a month. I don't expect Mkhitaryan to be rotated anytime soon. I think if Pogba was still there, there'd be a chance of Mkhitaryan being rotated, trying to fit in, Rashford, Martial, and Mata all in one team. But I don't know, at least for now, I don't see that happening. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at doing. Probably going to be moving out. I haven't fully decided yet if I want to drop Bertrand or Stevens. In the past, Bertrand's had more of an attacking threat, but lately he's not really been pushing as far forward. I guess that's more of a tactical shift in the way that Southampton's been playing. And then Stevens runs the risk of being substituted for Van Dijk when he comes back. So either way, I do have the coverage here defensively. So I guess could also look at swapping out Willian for somebody else and trying to change out Gray for Firmino. That would mean taking a -4 hit. I don't like to do that, especially this early in the season. I'm still have I'm respectably under a million in my rank, so not really wanting to drop a whole lot of points right now. But yeah, so that kind of wraps it up for this week. I think that Kane is going to be your best bet if you're looking at a captain. Otherwise, if you do have someone like Firmino in your team, he would probably be my second best choice for a captain. So I'd say that my captain's picks would be Kane, Firmino, Lukaku. If you do have Vardy, he'd be an excellent kind of off captain there, if you want to go with that. And then same thing with Jesus. Already scored 23 points this season. It's looking like he is probably the better choice over Aguero for now. Although it does seem like against some of these smaller teams, he might be playing both Jesus and Aguero. Anyway, so that wraps it up for the Game Week 5 FPL tips. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Todd_Shank. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would be able to subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Try to get subscriptions up and get word out about these weekly videos that I'll be doing for FPL tips. As always, I wish you good luck and have fun.